As technology evolves, Sprint Cup cars are becoming more and more complex, requiring up to 30 team members to support a single car. During a race, the team manager, engineers, crew chief and driver combine, making quick decisions in search of a crucial advantage.
I think Harvick got it by a fraction of an inch.
And in NASCAR, the smallest advantage can make all the difference.
I think a lot of that just comes with the communication with your crew chief and engineers from the driver's seat. You know, they have a lot of tools and people that are going through all the data and trying to make things better on a pretty much minute-by-minute basis, whether it be in the simulation program or just the feedback from me to the crew chief and what direction you send those guys down to try to work on what needs to be better in the car, the handling-wise, to try to make the car run faster.
There's two main leaders in the team, and that's the driver and the crew chief. The crew chief spends the most time with the crew, so that's an enormous role. It's a very important role, and you know, that's why you see so much shuffling that ends up happening within teams, just because you're trying to create that perfect synergy within the crew chief to the crew and then to the driver.
Across the different types of race circuit, team communication is key as they make adjustments based on predictive computer simulations as well as the driver's own feedback.
Well, oval track racing is a little bit different than road racing just because you can change your line on the racetrack. You can move up the racetrack, you can move down the racetrack. There's a lot of things from the driver's seat that you can do to try to get more out of your car during a particular fuel run when it's not handling correct.
Hold your line, hold your line. Couple more here. 6 more, Kevin, then a hole.
I think from racing in every series is a lot to do with the communication from the driver in the seat to the crew chief and how the crew chief relays all that information to the engineers so that they can go in the simulation programs and try to make the best adjustments that you can during the pit stops.
On pit road, crews can change tires, tweak suspension setups and frequently repair broken or bent body panels. The changes a driver makes in the cockpit are more limited.
We had almost no adjustments before last year. Having a brake bias, I think, was about it. Now we have a track bar adjuster in the car, so we can adjust that for pit stops, for restarts, for old tires, new tires, track changing conditions.
We can run the track bar up and down on the right side to put more rake in or out of the car. You put more rake in it, usually it makes the car looser in the corners. If you take rake out of it, it makes the car tighter in the corners. So we have a little bit of adjustment, but it's not very often that you come in for a pit stop that you don't make a mechanical adjustment on a jack screw or air pressure, those types of things when you come in the pit.
In a team running 4 cars like Stewart-Haas Racing, sharing data between crews is common practice. Over the race weekend, it can make the difference between a midfield finish or that clutch victory in the chase.
The 4 and 14 cars are built by the same people. The 41 and the 10 cars are built by all the same people in the shop. And we all share common parts and pieces that go on all 4 cars. All that information is live from one engineer to the other. So if we make a change on our car, it pops up on the other engineer's screen. So when they pull up our run logs, they can see exactly what we changed.
SHR are constantly seeking the perfect team dynamic. Engineers and pit crew work hard to bring the best possible car to the track, but it can be the crew chief and driver that determine whether that car rolls into victory lane.
It's ultimately up to us whether or not we can take the car and take it to the limit and be fast and be focused enough to give the feedback to the crew chief to make changes to make it better if it needs it. So yes, there are 2 main keys. Everybody plays a part. By all means, the whole expression, you're only as strong as your weakest link, does come into play, but the 2 key roles definitely are crew chief and driver.
Good job, boys. Awesome job.